This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined today by the Black Panther, Luther Clay. How are you, Luther?
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to be here, Rob. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all, no problem. Been a while since I caught up with you. Last time I caught up with you, you were about to fight Renald Garrido.
Yeah. Last time I was here, just about a week out before my fight. Obviously, got that win since then. Now I'm back training for the next fight in Bracknell again, Bracknell Leisure Centre, 29th September. So that's what we're aiming for, another win.
Tell me a little bit about the fight that you had in your last outing. Obviously, tough fight against Renald Garrido. How much are you going to learn from that? You went a grueling 10 rounds with somebody who's been around the block, had to show some stuff that you hadn't shown earlier on in your career. What do you make of it now you've had time to look back on it?
The thing was with that fight, not to sound rude, I never took the fight that seriously. As in, people were telling me that it was a really tough fight, but I was watching it in my room like his other fights, watching it objectively. And I was like, I don't see anything he can do to me. However, I was going on like his box rec and seeing the fights that he has beaten, I was seeing the upsets. So I was very conflicted. I was looking at the footage and I was like, this is going to be no problem. But then again, I'd see the fights with McKenna and I'd see he beat that Bradley Smith or whatever his name is. Saunders, that's the one. And I was feeling a bit conflicted, but I never saw it as a tough fight. And even in the fight, I wouldn't say it was a tough fight. I felt like I fell off the last couple of rounds, but I just decided to take the rounds off because sometimes I'm a bit stupid when I fight. If it's an 8-rounder, I'll think, okay, I'll just win 5. Instead of thinking I need to go, if I've hurt him, do you know what I mean? I think a bit too systematically. And that's where people will say that I had a hard time. But I never felt in any danger, or I was just too comfortable maybe in that fight. But going forward, I've learned that I can't think like that. I've got to be more methodical and just take round by round instead of thinking in my head, okay, I'll win 5 rounds and 6 rounds. I can't think like that because it's dangerous. I need to, once again, just because you're winning comfortably, it only takes one shot to get taken out. As we've seen in Garrido's next fight, he went out and knocked someone out. Do you know what I mean? That could have been me, the amount of overhand rights he was hitting me with. I was so relaxed, but that's what I've took from it. Can't be so lackadaisical in the future.
How important is that to have that kind of, for lack of a better expression, kick up the arse at this stage of your career? When you're in there against somebody, by your own admission just now, you've not necessarily, not prepared from a physical point of view, but from a mental point of view, perhaps not been as switched on as now you're saying you will be for your next outing. How important is that for you to have that experience at this point of your career?
It's very important because I'll play on this whole thing about, we know when fighters talk about experience and like amateur experience and just fighting experience, I haven't had that. I'm coming from like a boxing fan kind of view, so like I used to watch boxing, I like boxing, and I've been suddenly turned into a professional boxer. So in some ways, I'm kind of very naive. I know I'm strong. I know I can take a punch. I know I can hit hard. And sometimes I rely on that a little bit too much. But I don't have the experience in fights to, realise that, to just be more switched on. So it happening this early is very good because I'll take that and I'll always remember while I'm training, I'll train for a purpose. And when I get in the fight, I'll fight with a purpose rather than I'm just training to get fit and I'm just going through the motions, and then that's what happens in the fight sometimes. Every fight I've stepped up the opposition and stuff, and fights have been a little bit more difficult, but I've never felt in that sense of danger, which also means I've never been as, I'll say, concentrated, or do you know what I mean, if that makes sense? So I wouldn't be fighting with a purpose, I'd just be fighting for the sake of fighting. So that's where I'm learning that I need to be more switched on, not only in the fight, but mentally, you know what I mean? I need to fight with purpose and train with purpose. So that's what I'm going to make sure I do in my next fight and all throughout training.
Tell me about your opponent on September the 29th. How much have you seen of him? What challenges do you feel he's going to present to you that are going to be different from Renald Garrido?
It's a guy called Yaha. I can't pronounce his second name. I'm not going to try attempt. He's 13 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws. Never been stopped, so it's going to be tough. I think he has 5 or 6 wins by knockout, so he can hit a bit. But I'm a bit of a nerd, so I went on box rec, as I usually do when I get offered a fight. And I saw that his first loss was his second fight. Then he went on a big winning streak of about 8 or 9 whatever fights. But I looked at that closer and I looked who he's fought. It wasn't anything anyone that he shouldn't be beating. And then I looked at the guys he lost to. Obviously, other prospects 8-0, 8-1, whatever, so and so. So, but he didn't get stopped or anything. So he's obviously strong. He's obviously can box a bit, and he does have a bit of power. So I think it will present more problems than Garrido, because Garrido, although he was good, he was just too small. He was just too small. There was no respect there in terms of in the ring. He hit me and I felt nothing, so therefore I just got too comfortable. So this guy I can't get like that because he can hit. He has got obviously can box, and I think he'll present more of a challenge. In terms of fights, I couldn't really find many fights. I found one full fight, and I didn't watch it for. I watched about 3 minutes. He was a competent boxer, and then there's not really much I know about him. I couldn't get hold of much footage, so I'm just trying to spar with people that are similar kind of body composition, height, size and stuff like that, and that's all you can really do. And then I close the gaps in my boxing as well. That's all I can really do for the fight. Yeah.
All being well, on September the 29th, you come through with another victory. What's your your career map? Where are you looking to go? I mean, after beating Garrido, that's a good win. It provides you with a good stepping stone to then look at that sort of next level of opponent. Is that something that you're considering? Is that something you're thinking of? Or is that something that you leave to your promotional team and your management?
Normally, I just leave it to my promotion. I don't really like to think about where I'm heading or who I'm going to fight. I normally just leave it to my team, my manager, manager and promoter LCS, I let him do all that. But recently, there has been like a few little developments in terms of other fighters, interactions with other fighters. I'll just go touch on it quickly. So I know my manager has been campaigning for me to like try get a fight with Conor Benn and stuff like that. First of all, I think that fight would be amazing. Not only because of our styles, because our age, he's 21, I'm 22. He has very limited amateur experience. I have very limited amateur experience. He's strong, explosive, hard punching. I'm strong, maybe not as explosive, but I punch hard and I will stand there. So if he wants to try hit me, I will be there. So you won't have to worry about me running around the ring and stuff like that. So it'll be an exciting fight. But I know that's more like a dream maybe in some case, because his profile's so big. You know, they don't need to fight anybody of actual note at the time. So maybe that's something for the future as my profile grows. Second fight is by a fighter from Portsmouth called Michael McKinson. We had an interaction, so he commented on my post. I don't know if it was an emotional response to something that he was feeling, but I've known Michael for a long time. I've been sparring him for a long time. Since my debut, I've been working with him. Nice guy, I like him, he likes me, we're both friendly, so it's not personal like that, but he decided to call me out on my post, and I waited a day. Next morning I replied, we can get it on next, we can do it, it doesn't matter to me. Obviously he would be a good fight. He has a WBC silver title of some sort. I would like that fight. We actually tried to make that fight, my team, our Siesta Promotions, and him and MTK. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. I believe it was in terms of like the business side and the purses and where the fight would be forecast BT, whether it be on thingy. So I believe that kind of fight should be televised on some sort of undercard to give us both exposure. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want, because at the end of the day, Michael, if you're listening, I'm not ducking you. I know you're not ducking me. That's going to answer for any questions for anyone. But our teams need to get together and make the fight simple. You know what I mean? I don't want you messaging me talking about this and this. Talk to your team. My team are fully workable. We'll work with anyone and we can sort anything out. So that just answer that question. And the last two is probably like fighters on similar kind of level. Some like Freddie Kiewit, experienced prospect, I guess you could say. He's a bit older than me, about 28. But he's quite known on the small hall scene and stuff like that, so that would be a good fight. And the last one, someone like Lewis Adolphe, once again, 8 wins, 1 loss, but that was a disqualification, so he's technically still undefeated. Another again, known on the small hall scene, so those are the kind of fights that I'd be wanting to make next, possibly, if I get through this fight next in September 29th in Bracknell.
You just mentioned it there. So, for example, Conor Benn has this big profile, boxes on Sky Sports. You don't have that profile by your own admission. What do you have to do to entice those guys into the ring, to raise your own profile and kind of force those fights that maybe are out of your reach now for one reason or another?
I think there's two major things I can do. One is probably be more, say in my community, maybe do more appearances and be a bit more outgoing in terms of me actively going out of my way to try let people know I'm fighting and try reach a different audience rather than just my friends and friends of their friends. I need to actually build my following in Bracknell. There's a number of ways that me and my team are discussing. So that's something I can actively do and we can actively do within reason. Second is just keep winning. And as we've been doing, every time we fight, try raise the opposition level and like I've said earlier, try be a bit more proactive and be more aggressive and malicious in the way I fight rather than be so cool and laid back and, you know what I mean, and give nothing away. Although I give nothing away, I leave too much to be desired sometimes. So I need to work on that. So that will come with the training and the fights. I'll try do that, you know what I mean? So I would say those are the two things I can do. And obviously, as well as my manager and promotions, our Siesta, they're doing a great job. And so I'm sure that will happen within time. My profile, you can only do so much and do so much in so little time. So I'm sure in the coming, maybe in the next year, I'm sure you'll see my profile build a lot bigger, and I'm gonna go out of my way to try, do that.
Now, your last fight against Renald Garrido was the second time I've watched you box live. I watched you box on the Groves Eubank undercard back in February. For our fans who potentially didn't see that fight or haven't seen you fight before, you remind me of kind of like an old Midwest fighter. Slick, not hands down, but tucked in behind the shoulder, really nice jab. What kind of fighters did you look at, or what kind of fighters do you take inspiration from that have helped you craft that style? Or is that kind of just how you do it? You put your gloves on and then that's your style?
I'll say, like, I don't even know what my style is. So because you tell anyone, if you ever come watch a sparring session with me, I don't fight anything like that. I'll be getting hit. I'll be going brawling and stuff like that. But then that's like me having fun. But then when it comes to the fight, I'm a bit more reserved, like I say. So like, I'll say I watch a lot of Mexican fighters, and I watch a lot of like black American fighters like Terence Crawford and all the like Corey Spinks, all the old fighters and stuff. So I have like a good mix of the two. So in the fights, I show that I can box a bit. I can box and be smart. But there's a complete different side that no one knows and they haven't seen. Only the people that are there training, sparring, and actually spar with me know that. So I think it's going to take me a bit of time, fight by fight, to implement both sides and stuff like that. So, but in terms of who I do watch, I'll say I watch Terence Crawford. I like Golovkin, Errol Spence. I like Mikey Garcia. I like a bit of Broner on my team. I like a bit of Broner. I'm trying to get rid of that. My team's trying to get rid of that. But I do like a bit of Broner. Inside and out of the ring, he'd be funny. But yeah, that's who I watch. So those are my influences, I'd say, yeah.
It's quite a broad spectrum of influence. That's very interesting you would say that. Okay, just lastly, what message can you give to fans who, again, potentially didn't tune in to watch you against Renald Garrido? What can we expect to see from Luther Clay moving forward towards the end of 2018, starting on September the 29th at the Bracknell Leisure Centre?
Starting 29th, you're going to see an improved fighter, more focus in the ring, and hopefully I'll get him out of there. Moving forward, as I always said, I'm always going to keep up in the opposition level, reaching for new targets, short-term, long-term, whatever it be, and we're going to continue trying to build myself and really make something out of Bracknell and the surrounding areas. I'd like to say, for everyone that's in the area, Berkshire, Hampshire, Surrey, anywhere in the southeast of England, come through to the show. We've got some great boxers, it's going to be a great card. Support your local boxers, and yeah, that's it really, It's going to be a great night. Hopefully everyone gets the win, that's on the card, all the prospects and stuff like that. And yeah, big shout out to my manager, our Siesta Boxing Promotions, for pulling off such a great card once again, keeping me active this year. Be my 4th fight of the year. feeling like an Olympian or something, fighting this often. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay, well, the Black Panther, Luther Clay, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to catching up with you soon and seeing you in action on September the 29th.
Thank you. Thank you.